right, bud. We're going to finish it up. We recapped all the fights, but we're going to do some of your historic content list and have some fun with the viewers out there. We're going to do a top 10 list. We're going to get right into it. You got a special one. I'll let you tell everybody what's this week's top 10 list.
My favorite fight in the whole world. You don't have to have gloves on. You don't have to, get in a ring to make a living at boxing, which is obviously the profession I've been in for 50 years now, to be a fighter. So this one was inspired by my favorite fighter, the guy you're looking at, the guy who co-hosts the show, my son, because he's a fighter. He's a fighter for his family, his son, his nieces and nephews, his family, his sister, everybody, his wife, everybody that he loves. And I admire him for being that fighter. So, and not to mention, I don't know if I should make him. You want to do a quickie with the top? Real quick. All right. Okay. Not to mention that is part of. Put it back on, and you're beautiful. You're great. You're handsome. You're handsome as hell.
No, we
but
keep it out for this segment.
Here, he obviously does not have hair on top of his head. And I said, let's do a segment of great. See, how fortunate he is that he's so handsome. Let's do a segment of the best fighters that were bald. I just thought it would be fun. I thought it would be fun. Now, here it is. I want to go right into it. But the first thing is I have to qualify things. I got to make a statement that's very important. A lot of you guys think, which it's not a knock, I did too. But a lot of you probably think that guys that you're thinking should be on this list that were bald really weren't legitimately bald. They shaved their heads. So I'm going to make a separation here. I know a lot of you guys go nuts. He's not on Teddy. Oh, my God. He shaved his head.
How do we know?
I went to the Institute of Baldness. I went to Richie. I went to great lengths to make sure. And I spoke to the most renowned baldness experts in the world. And they gave me thumbs up on my list. They directed me. They looked at pictures. We looked at pictures of fighters, and when they were young in their career, when they were at different stages of their career, and if we saw traces of hair, you don't see traces of hair on my man here, do you? No, you don't. He would be. That's why he inspired this list. True baldness. So we looked at the pictures. And again, I had the greatest eyes of boldness on this, looking at it and say, no, there's some follicles. Am I saying it right? Some follicles? Hair. Yeah, some hair follicles. Okay, take him off. And when we finally got to the list, the 10 that really were bald. You know where it is? It's in here. Yeah, it's sealed. This has been kept in a vault 20 feet underground because never before has this ever been seen. This list of truly bald fighters. Now, this list here is the one I'll run through real quick of the ones who shaved their head. So most of you, I want you to all be happy. Most of you are going to say, oh, yeah, but these were guys, they might have been going a little bit here and there, a little off here, but they shaved.
So if they were receding, you shaved it for them? They're bald? They don't count?
It has to be guys that were truly bald.
All right, I can't wait. I got to hear this.
Of course you can't wait. How could you? They're going to be your best.
They're
going to be your best friends. I know that. They're going to be his best friends. He's going to have him over for dinner. I hope his wife is ready to cook for about 10 of them. All right, now I said everything I had to say. Right? We brought in the hair experts, the whole thing. Again, the strict criterion that they had to really be bald. So, these are the greats to have actually shaved their domes. Their domes. And you know what? With this list, usually I start at the bottom and I work my way up. But being that we're talking about at the top already, here, the head, we're going to actually start at the top and get right through it and work our way down. Start at the head. Start at the top. Okay, number one from Teddy Atlas on the greatest fighters that were bald, but they really shaved their heads. Okay, Marvin Hagler, the great one, the great middleweight champ. I have to start with him. It's a tough one, but I had to start. And by the way, I left the number one off. That's going to be on the authentic, legitimate, bald list. I left them off here. You know why? Because I wanted to save a surprise. Number two, Jack Johnson, heavyweight champ, first black heavyweight champ in the history of the sport, one of my favorite fighters, did so much. He was so great. He was a pioneer. He did it all. He had footwork. He had defense. He put punches together back in the early 1900s. Incredible. And he fought against such difficult things besides what was in the ring because of the time in this country. Jack Johnson. Number three, Floyd Mayweather, multi-weight champion, retired undefeated. Who the heck does that other than Rocky Marciano? You can't think of it's pretty hard to think of. Floyd. Shaved his head, by the way. Number four. We're going to do a razor blade commercial, Rich. We are. My son's going to get a sponsor off of this for razor blades to shave heads. Yeah, 100%. Because you couldn't be on this list if you were bleeding. If you used bad razors and you had nicks and knacks and cuts on top of your head when you were fighting, people would know right away, oh, he's not bald. He shaves. Okay, number four, Tyson Fury, heavyweight champ. Number five, Bernard Hopkins, middleweight champ and light heavyweight champ. Number six, my fighter, one of my fighters, dear to me, Michael Mora, a heavyweight and light heavyweight champion. I called him to confirm. I was going to
ask.
I hope he's telling the truth, but I never found him to be anything but honest. I asked him, Mike, we've seen some pictures with a little hair. Are you bald? He said, Teddy, I went bald at 22. I started going in and I went more and more, I'm bald. I said, you know what? You're not only bald, you're on the list. All right, number seven. Another one of my former fighters that I had the pleasure and the privilege of training. Tim Bradley. Junior welterweight.
Did you confirm that in person?
No, I should have. I didn't know I was doing the list last week, okay? Sorry.
We'll confirm in the future.
We will, but he's on the list for now. He's on this list. All right, number 8, James Toney, middleweight and super middleweight and cruiserweight champ. We found hair, follicles. We found them. Yeah, he was slippery in the ring. Yeah, he moved, he slipped, he dipped, he dapped, he dipped. But he couldn't get rid of that hair. We saw it. He couldn't slip and slide away from that. All right. Number 9, Miguel Cotto. I could have put him higher on the list. I'll tell you why I didn't. Because he was a terrific fighter. He had a good head of hair. We saw it. I got a couple pictures. Again, my experts we flew him in from different parts of the world. We did. We bared no course for this. People. And they showed me pictures. He had a full head of hair. Then he started shaving. So we had to put him down a little lower. But he still made the list. Welterweight, junior welterweight, middleweight, junior middleweight. He won titles in 5 weight classes. Tremendous. Pride, one of the prides of that great little island that gives you so many great fighters, Puerto Rico. All right, number 10. Also a great commentator. Antonio Tarver, light heavyweight and cruiserweight titles. He loves to talk, Antonio. He'll probably be calling me and saying, Teddy, I should have been on the other list. No, Antonio, we have pictures. We have pictures. All right. Number 11, Ernie Shavers. I wound up putting a few extra ones. Ernie Shavers, one of the greatest punchers ever. Fought everyone in the heavyweight division. Fought for the title. Fought Ali. Fought Holmes. Had Holmes on the floor. Number 12, Ruben Hurricane Carter. Top middleweight. He lost his title shot against Joey Giardello. Good puncher, good finisher. A movie was made on his life story called The Hurricane, starring Denzel Washington. Number 13, Zab Judah from Brooklyn. Can't leave him off. He came up in the gym in Gleason's when I was training fighters. So Zab, I always had a little love extra for him because him, his father, all his brothers trained right in the same gym. He was like my neighbor. I'm Staten Island. He's Brooklyn. Zab Judah, junior welterweight champ. Number 14. A lot of you guys won't know this guy, but you should. Man, he was a tough middleweight where all the great middleweights won one time. Philadelphia, baby. Benny Briscoe. Yeah, top middleweight. 53 knockouts in his career. He fought greats like Carlos Monzon and Marvin Hagler. If he don't have those greats around, he's probably middleweight champ. All right, David Tua. Got to put him there. What a left hook. What a left hook he had. Fought Lennox Lewis for the title. And finally, this one, you don't get this anywhere else. James Scott. He fought from Rahway Prison. Finished up at 19-2-1. He beat some top light heavyweights. He did. Fought from Rahway Prison. All right, there it is. Okay, you ready? Now, the actual one. Look at this. Look at this, people. We're going to open the envelope. For those of you who don't have the visual, you hear that noise? That's the envelope being opened after being sealed. In that envelope, 20 feet below the ground in a steel vault. And it comes out. Number 1, truly bald-headed, like my son, who I love, and is handsome, and he's my favorite fighter. Bob Fitzsimmons. Yeah, Bob Fitzsimmons. He wound up going completely bald. He had a little hair early on, but he wound up going completely bald. He was the middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight champion, and the inventor, the creator of the solo plexus punch, which he used to score many KOs in boxing history. All right, number 2, my fighter Michael Moorer. Yeah, heavyweight, light heavyweight world champion. Number 3, and a southpaw, by the way. Number 3, hell of a fighter. Fought a lot of great fighters.
Southpaw heavyweight champion.
100%, buddy. Thank you. Number 3, real baldies. Bobo Olsen. Yeah, 97 wins, 16 losses, 2 draws. Fought everyone. He fought Sugar Ray Robinson 4 times. He beat the great Kid Gavilander, Joey Maxim, and Randy Turpin. Oh, yeah, he belongs in there. Number 4, you'll be a little surprised here. A little more modern era. Kelly Paflick, middleweight world champ, 40-3. Yeah, he was bald. Number 5, remember him? Yeah. James Bone Crusher Smith, 44-17-1. He finished up heavyweight world champ. All right, now I'm going to go back. For the people out there. I know I got the one man out there, my man, who loves when I go to the 1700s. I don't go that far. I don't know how he got that in his head. I stopped in the early late 1800s, but we'll go back. He had a career from 1920 to 1937, middleweight champ, had one of the titles. Had 106 wins, 20 losses, 10 draws. Marcel Till, spelled T-H-I-L. All right, number 7, Paolo Rossi. Lightweight, top 10 fighter, 1951 to 1962. Good top 10 fighter back then, but he's on the list because, more importantly, he was really bold. Number 8, Jack Twin Sullivan. Yeah, you get history here. Went into the 20th round versus Stanley Ketchel. Legendary Stanley Ketchel for the middleweight title. Okay, number 9, Joe Rendon. Top middleweight, beat Paul Pender, who later went on to become a middleweight champion. And number 10, again, you wouldn't get these names anywhere else. Ted Lowry. Light heavyweight. He went the distance 2 times with Marciano before Marciano won the title. That was not easy to do, especially if you were bald.
That was a fun one. I don't think anybody's expecting this list coming out. I wasn't. I had a lot of fun just listening to you talk through it. And this is my list now. This is my top 10 list, right? So I got some questions. Where's George Foreman?
George Foreman is one of my favorite fighters of all time. All time.
George picked it on his own?
George Foreman, as far as we could see, we went back to Olympics. We went back then after the Olympics. He won the gold medal, of course. And then we went back to early in his career, and we saw hair. But I would put George Foreman just on because it's George Foreman. I could never argue with you over bringing up anything involving George Foreman. One of the greatest heavyweights ever, one of the greatest punches ever, one of the greatest stories ever, one of the greatest comebacks ever, one of the greatest just inspirational people ever, and one of the greatest people I ever met.
That was a nice list. There's distinctions now. There's bald guys who shave it down to the skin. There's guys who foil, and you see the nice shiny heads, no shadow, right? You got a couple of those on that list.
That got them out. We saw a few of those. My experts immediately removed them. Immediately. They're out. I said, okay, I didn't even know about that oil. And yep, they're out. They put this thing on, the cellophane, whatever. Whatever. I'm calling it different things that it's not. But, because I have hair. I'm, don't ask me what happened to my man. I don't know. It happens. Those things happen. But you know what? I always say, thank God he's good looking.
They say it comes on the mom's side from genetics. I was getting it either way. But either way, my guy, Teddy the Fourth, I hope he's going to have a full set of hair. That makes me think, though, trainers, it's a lot of stress. You would think you would have lost some. You're still hanging on. A lot of trainers have good hair, shockingly. But Customato, bald, best trainer ever, bald guys.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that. But Cuz would be right there.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, I think you might have mentioned him. I was laughing so hard I might have missed Tyson Fury, right? For the current guys.
I mentioned him. He was high up.
There. Yeah, I thought you did.
Not truly bald, but on the list of shave.
He's bald.
No, we saw some hair. I'm telling you, bring it up with my expert. We flew some of them in from Sweden. That's all I can tell you. We flew them in from all different parts of the world, and maybe I made a mistake. Maybe, I brought 2 of them in from Switzerland. Maybe I could have made a mistake and they were expert yodelers. I'm not sure, Rich. Richie's hysterical over here. I don't know. But they identified as expert baldness guys, whatever.
Well, I need some help. I think we can get a sponsor out of this, whether it's a trimming brand, whether it's Gillette razor blades. I need to keep this fresh and trimmed up. And if good. Not, maybe it's Propecia. Maybe we sponsored a turkey, and I go over there and I get some new hair. What do you think of that?
Well, I think I like it.
And here's the last one I like that I think of, just to throw one out there, of fighters that I enjoyed, former world champions that were bald. And I think he was bald. But your experts will check this for me. Kelly Pavlik, the pride of Youngstown.
Well, I had him on, bud. He's on
Kelly.
He's on the real list. He's on this one that's going back in the envelope, and it's going back into the underground and back into the vault.
The other one I think of, he wouldn't say greatest fighters, but Butterbean, right? I mean,
Butterbean was gonna be on that list, but I thought a lot of people would say, with the stuff going on now, with some of these events that are happening, and I give Jake Paul all the credit in the world. He does not disrespect our sport. He's working his way in there, and he's taking risks. So I give him credit. And he's doing a hell of a job for promotion. I think he's helped boxing. I think he's helped fighters. He's helped female fighters in his promotion. So, but I didn't want people saying, "Oh, Teddy, you're taken away from just a pure boxer." But he was Butterbean. He was, he got on the scene. He was an attraction. He was a novelty at the beginning. But I give the guy credit. He got in that ring, and yeah, he could have been on the list. But like I said, I've made a conscious decision not to put him, even though I like the guy a lot. He was on USA TV all the time. He was fighting those fights every month, it seemed like. But, he was fighting well-picked guys and well-chosen opponents. I wanted to pick guys that were, in the boxing realm and fighting a little, obviously, higher level of fights. Even though Butterbean finished up against Larry Holmes, but it was Larry Holmes, obviously, very late.